Lucimus Prime here, so it's time for the next episode of a movie that deserves a sequel, and in today's video I'm going to be covering this time an example of an action and fantasy heist comedy movie released earlier this year, which I checked out, and I definitely would see sequel to, and this is definitely as well one of my favourite films of this year, and this film, which I think definitely does deserve a sequel in my opinion, is none other than this year's Dungeons and Dragons Honor Among Thieves. So, you guys are probably going to ask me what are my thoughts on this film. So, earlier this year when they, of course, first started promoting this movie, I was really concerned about it due to the trailers. The trailers, in my opinion, were not good for a movie. They weren't really appealing to me, in my opinion. And there was also rumours of them ruining the male characters in the film as well, which I was not happy about. So, I was thinking this film was going to suck. But when the film got released in cinemas, I heard good things about it from people that I know who went to see it. They really enjoyed it, and they regard it as one of the best ones they saw that year. So I thought that in the future, when I'm not busy, I'd probably give it a watch too. So eventually, one day, I managed to watch the film when it came to video on demand. I rented it on streaming services to watch, and I gotta say that when I saw this film, I had an absolute blast with it. I thought it was absolutely awesome, and coming from somebody who's not played with Dungeons & Dragons board game or any other games related to that franchise, I definitely had a lot of fun watching this movie. I think it was an absolute blast from start to finish, and I can also confirm that the rumours that I heard about it are also not true, because the male characters in this film, in my opinion, were very likeable and well written and had good development for their characters, played well by good actors as well. For example, definitely Chris Pine, in my opinion, and also as well Regé-Jean Page, and definitely as well from Justice Smith too, because he definitely really surprised me in this, because he was definitely, in my opinion, far better in this than he was in the Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom and Dominion movies. Most definitely, I thought he was much better in this than those, and I definitely as well love the addition of Hugh Grant as well in this, and in terms of female characters, I definitely love the addition of Michelle Rodriguez. I thought she was great in this as well. The whole cast definitely did a really great job in this, in my opinion. Their characters were very likeable and a lot of fun to watch, and I must say as well that considering this is a recent film, the humour they did was so good. Because compared to some garbage films I've seen which have executed humour really badly, I will say that actually the humour in this was done really well. And I had a good laugh watching this actually. I thought it was really funny. And I really enjoyed this film. It was definitely a big blast from start to finish. So, on the topic of why I think it is a sequel then, so I definitely would love to see a sequel where we get all these characters coming back, played by actors coming back to reprise their roles, and they maybe take on more enemies from the game. That could probably be a good idea. And we could even meet familiar faces from franchise who are on the good side as well, maybe. That could probably be a good idea. So there's plenty of opportunities they can do with sequels. So maybe introduce characters good and evil, and also new settings as well from the board games as well, maybe. That could be really cool. And with regards to the future though, there has been, of course, announcements of a TV show in development, so, and it's going to be on Paramount Plus with an order of 8 episodes, so I'll probably give it a watch when it drops on there, and hopefully I might enjoy it, who knows, because I have seen some great shows on Paramount Plus, like Tulsa King, for example, so hopefully I might probably really enjoy this show too, who knows. And then there has also been talks of a possible sequel to the first movie, because the director of this movie, one of them called John Francis Daly, spoke about doing a potential sequel, depending on the success of this first movie, and he's hoping they can do one of the two directors, him and also the other director being Jonathan Goldstein, where of course they bring back these familiar faces, but at the same time bring in new characters. So I can definitely agree with that sense really, because the sequels can definitely work really well if you bring in familiar faces for fans to be happy about, and at the same time you introduce new characters who are both likeable and just fun to watch really. And hopefully they'll treat the characters with respect, of course, just like we did in this first movie. So hopefully they can definitely deliver in this potential sequel. So if we do a sequel, I really hope they bring back familiar faces from the first movie, and at the same time introduce brand new ones. So like I said, maybe more villains from the games, or maybe new good guys from the games. Who knows really, just have to wait and see. The possibilities are pretty high for this sequel really. So hopefully it can do well. But sadly, of course, also as well, this film did not do at the box office, so the sequel could only happen if it could happen on a small budget, according to the CEO of Paramount Pictures, Brian Robbins. So that's a shame, really, that this film didn't do at the box office, because I think it has potential to be a franchise, absolutely, because I'd love to see these characters come back in sequels. So, long story short, guys, I definitely think that Dungeons and Dragons Honor Among Thieves is definitely one of those best examples of films from this year, which I think deserves a sequel. And I, of course, own it on Blu-ray right here, and I'm going to keep rewatching it with hope we'll do a sequel to it soon, of course, but hopefully greenlight it very soon. And I'll also want to probably post a review on my channel to show pure love, because I think it's just such a fun movie from start to finish. And if you guys have not seen it, I'd recommend it if you want a fun movie, which is pretty funny with blending of a fantasy, heist, comedy, and action really all together, and did it really well, I must say. So it's definitely worth watching, in my opinion. Anyway, guys, this is me covering why, in my opinion, Dungeons & Dragons Honor Among Thieves is definitely a big example I can say of a film from this year that does deserve a sequel. So, you know the drill, guys. Be sure to give this video a like. Also, be sure to tell us in the comments what you guys think of Dungeons & Dragons Honor Among Thieves. If you do you need a sequel, in the comments below what you think. Also, be sure to join Team Fan by pressing subscribe to come in the future, and I'll see you all later.